As Devontae Parker and those guys every single game, we're not going to see a guy any better this entire season than the guys we go against. The quarterback we have can put the ball in tight holes, so it makes our players have to find the football, which makes us better for the long haul.
Being more aggressive up front, that puts your DBs probably on an island more. Are they ready for that?
You know, first we put them on the island a lot of times, and the quarterback didn't have an opportunity to throw the football. So you could be on the island, but really you're not. If the pressure gets home, you get a lot of bad passes out there. That's the whole thought process about bringing pressure.
Have you seen any change in T. Floyd since the pick? Have you seen him maybe gain in confidence?
He's gained some confidence. He's stepping in the right direction right now. He's starting to take a leadership role. But, you know, we here not sat down, we talked about those things. It's time for him to grow up and be a man. He's going to his third season. He's made plays. And now the next step is you got to be consistent. That's what he has to do to take that next step.
You mentioned Gaines. Is he in the mix there?
He's definitely in the mix. You know, we have in our DB room, the guys who lead interceptions right now in camp. Gaines has the most interceptions. He can make plays when the ball's in there. But I also told those guys, if you don't tackle, you don't play. So our first scrimmage, he tried to throw his little body around. He missed a couple of times, but at least he shot his guns. So I'm excited to see those type of things.
Overall, tackling, you emphasize that on media day. How's it been so far since you've gone full pads?
You know, it's been pretty decent. It's never what you wanted to be as a football coach. But for the most part, those guys are surrounding the football. We're getting guys down. We haven't given up any big runs. That's key. Last year we gave a lot of big runs because we missed tackles in the secondary. So far, it's been pretty decent.
Are D'Angelo Brown or
Jermaine Brooks?
Brooks, are they any closer to returning?
You know what, if I was a healer and I can touch them, they'd be out here right now. Since I'm not, I have no idea. You know, those were injuries that you just don't know about. It takes time. And so we're still waiting to see what happens.
That being said, how comforting is it to have somebody like Brandon Dunn who's played that before and can just kind of switch back and forth as needed?
It is good. You know, right now he's our third team nose. He's our starting three technique. We moved him inside. He's excited about it. He's done a good job for us so far. And we expect big things from him. He's a senior right now. His first start was his freshman year. We'd go out and play Oregon State. And, you know, Scruggs get necked up in pregame warm-up. We had a true freshman out there playing. So he's been through the battle, so now it's time for him to step up to be a senior and take charge of the defensive line.
Now that you've got some practices under you, any freshmen look good? Any freshmen in that 2D?
They look just like freshmen. You know, freshmen coming in and fall on their face, so they look just like freshmen. I don't expect anything from them. If they get on special teams, I'll be excited, but as of right now, it's not a freshman really in the 2 deep at this point in time.
Vance, you're pretty much set at safety with those two veterans back there, but what about the depth behind those two guys?
Gerard Holloman, you know, he has had high expectations coming out of high school. You know, he was 6'8", Defensive Player of the Year by Gatorade in the state of Florida. Came here with a shoulder injury. And so far this camp, I've been pretty excited about him. He's tackled something he hadn't done. He always could make plays when the ball was in there, and now we had a scrimmage the other day. He had about 5 or 6 tackles, and he put his face right down the middle. Because I told him the same thing. I'm glad you can catch the ball when they throw it. If you can't tackle, you can't play. Right now, he's showing to us he wants to play. So that's a big plus for us. So he can play strong on free. Kamal Hogan is the other guy who's making steps too. So we got some depth there also that we're excited about at this time.
Obviously some bad news with Terrence Ross, the freshman, the other day. Can you just kind of update his situation?
You know, right now I'm not totally sure what's going on with him. You know, he had a knee injury, so it's still waiting to see what we're going to do with that right now. But he was coming on. I thought he was going to be a really good player. He was probably one of the kids that was going to be a special teams player for us this year. Mm-hmm. So I'm disappointed for him at this time, but you know, that's part of it. Football, physical sport. Things happen, good and bad.
Vance, what about De'Ajon Richardson? A lot of the players have mentioned that he's having a pretty good camp. Is that your assessment of him?
He is big, and he is big. And that's what he is, big. As far as having a good camp, I wouldn't say at this time. He looks like a big freshman out of high school that does not know how to play, does not know how to use his hands, does not know how to finish things yet. But in about 2 years, people are going to say, who is that and how did he get there? Because he's going to be a really good player. You can see the potential, but he is nowhere near ready to play this season.
Is he one of those guys that Pat Moore just loves getting his hands on him?
He sees him walk in the weight room and just starts smiling because he knows he's going to be just like butter. He's going to cut some of that stuff right off of him. So that's why I have such great high expectations for the kid. He's light on his feet. He's 345 pounds. He can move. But he's a year away. That's what most big offensive linemen, defensive linemen are. They're a year away. You don't want to play them right now. If you do, you're probably wasting a year unless they're a special player.
Your two corners were talking about how the defense won the scrimmage yesterday. You had a chance to look at the film, and if so, did you like what you saw from
There were some good plays. We did some good things on defense. We could always make strides. We gave up one big pass play. We missed a tackle that went for a play. But the first team defense did a really good job. I'm excited to see those guys out there running around, making plays, communicating. So for us as a defensive staff, they're taking great steps right now. We have a long way to go in camp yet. We hadn't won a game or lost a game as of yet. So we have a long way to go before we can say how good we're going to be or if we're going to be what we've been the last 2 or 3 years.
Are they comfortable with the new aggressive approach that you're taking?
Well,
they got to love it.
Well, they look at me and they want to go get it all the time. That's what we've been doing in the past. This year, past season, we backed off of it somewhat. So we got to get back to those type of things. And I think it's paying dividends for our guys right now. It's giving them some type of confidence.
All right, guys.